If you're over 60, answer honestly. Do you use vegetable oil, canola oil, or corn oil in your kitchen? Do you cook with the same oil you've been using for 20 or 30 years? Do you choose oils based on what the label says rather than what science actually shows? If you answered yes, you're not alone. Millions of seniors use cooking oils every single day that research now suggests may be contributing to arterial damage, inflammation, and heart disease. Why? Because after 60, your body processes fats differently. Your arteries are less flexible. Your inflammatory response is heightened. And certain oils, especially when heated, create compounds that your aging cardiovascular system struggles to handle. Today, we'll identify 4 oils you should reconsider and 4 that studies show may actually protect your heart and brain. Remember, this is general guidance. Your individual needs may vary, so consult your healthcare provider before making changes. Let's start by understanding why cooking oil matters so much after 60. When you were younger, your body could handle a wider range of fats without significant consequences. Your arteries were flexible and resilient. Your liver efficiently processed different types of fatty acids. Your inflammatory response was balanced and quick to resolve. But aging changes everything. By 60, most people have some degree of arterial stiffness. The endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, becomes more vulnerable to damage. Your body's natural anti-inflammatory mechanisms work more slowly. This means that oils which create oxidative stress or promote inflammation hit you much harder than they would have decades ago. Here's something most people don't realize. Not all fats behave the same way when heated. Some oils remain stable at high temperatures, maintaining their beneficial properties. Others break down, oxidize, and form compounds that damage your cells and blood vessels. After 60, choosing the right oil isn't just about taste or convenience. It's about protecting your cardiovascular system, reducing chronic inflammation, and supporting brain health. Let's walk through the 4 oils you should seriously reconsider using, starting with one that might surprise you. Worst oil number 1, corn oil. Walk into any grocery store and you'll see bottles of corn oil with labels boasting about heart health and cholesterol benefits. For decades, corn oil was marketed as a healthy alternative to saturated fats. But here's what those labels don't tell you. Corn oil contains an extremely high concentration of omega-6 fatty acids, specifically linoleic acid. A single tablespoon of corn oil contains about 7 grams of omega-6 fats. While your body does need some omega-6, the problem is the ratio. A healthy balance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids should be around 4-to-1 or even lower, but the typical American diet, heavily reliant on corn oil and similar oils, pushes that ratio to 15-to-1 or even 20-to-1. This massive imbalance drives chronic inflammation throughout your body. After 60, this becomes particularly dangerous. Research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that seniors with high omega-6 to omega-3 ratios had significantly more arterial plaque, higher levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, and increased risk of cardiovascular events. But there's another problem with corn oil that's even more concerning. When you heat corn oil to typical cooking temperatures, say for frying or sautéing, the polyunsaturated fats become highly unstable. They oxidize rapidly, creating harmful compounds called lipid peroxides and aldehydes. These toxic byproducts circulate through your bloodstream, damaging the delicate lining of your arteries and contributing to the formation of arterial plaque. A 70-year-old retired teacher from Ohio used corn oil exclusively for years because her doctor had told her to avoid saturated fats. She cooked everything in it: eggs, vegetables, chicken, but her cholesterol numbers kept climbing despite eating what she thought was a heart-healthy diet. Her doctor ran advanced lipid tests and found high levels of oxidized LDL cholesterol, the particularly dangerous kind that embeds itself in artery walls. When she switched to olive oil and reduced her overall omega-6 intake, Her oxidized LDL levels dropped by nearly 40% within 6 months. Her joint pain, which she'd attributed to normal aging, also improved significantly. If you've been using corn oil, what should you do? Start by checking your pantry. If you see corn oil, vegetable oil, or any blend that lists corn oil as a primary ingredient, consider replacing it. Don't throw away the whole bottle if that feels wasteful. Finish what you have, but use it only for low-heat cooking or cold applications, never for frying or high-heat cooking. And start transitioning to the healthier alternatives we'll discuss shortly. Worst oil number 2, soybean oil and generic vegetable oil. Here's something that surprises most people. When you pick up a bottle labeled simply vegetable oil, you're almost always getting soybean oil or a soybean oil blend. Soybean oil dominates the processed food industry and home kitchens across America. Like corn oil, soybean oil is extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids. But soybean oil has additional concerns that make it particularly problematic for seniors. First, most soybean oil goes through heavy industrial processing. It's extracted using chemical solvents, then refined, bleached, and deodorized to create the clear, neutral oil you see in stores. This processing strips away any beneficial compounds that might have existed in the original soybean and can leave trace chemical residues. But here's the bigger issue. Research suggests that high consumption of soybean oil may affect brain health. A study from the University of California, Riverside found that mice fed a diet high in soybean oil showed changes in the hypothalamus, a part of the brain that regulates metabolism and stress response. The researchers noted increased oxidative stress and altered gene expression. While this was an animal study and more research is needed in humans, it raises important questions about long-term consumption, especially for older adults whose brains are already more vulnerable to oxidative damage. There's also the inflammation factor. Multiple studies have linked high consumption of oils rich in omega-6 fatty acids with increased inflammatory markers in older adults. Inflammation isn't just about joint pain or arthritis. Chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, is now recognized as a driver of nearly every age-related disease. Heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, even cancer. Every time you cook with soybean oil, especially at high heat, you're potentially adding fuel to that inflammatory fire. A 68-year-old man from Texas had been experiencing worsening arthritis pain and brain fog. He ate what seemed like a healthy diet, lots of vegetables, lean chicken, whole grains, but he cooked everything in vegetable oil because it was inexpensive and supposedly heart-healthy. His doctor suggested an elimination diet to identify inflammatory triggers. When he switched from vegetable oil to olive oil and avocado oil, he noticed within 3 weeks that his joint pain had decreased noticeably and his mental clarity improved. Blood tests showed his inflammatory markers had dropped as well. The practical advice here is simple. Check your kitchen right now. If you have bottles labeled vegetable oil, they're almost certainly soybean oil. Consider replacing them with oils that have better fatty acid profiles and undergo less processing. Your heart and brain will thank you. Worst oil number 3, cottonseed oil. You might not think you use cottonseed oil, but check the ingredient lists of processed foods in your pantry. Cottonseed oil appears in everything from salad dressings to crackers to fried foods. Some people also buy it as a standalone cooking oil because it's cheap. But cottonseed oil carries unique risks that make it particularly concerning for seniors. First, cotton is not classified as a food crop. It's an industrial crop. This means it's sprayed heavily with pesticides and herbicides that wouldn't be allowed on food crops. While the refining process removes some of these residues, it doesn't eliminate them entirely. Older adults, whose livers and kidneys are less efficient at processing toxins, may be more vulnerable to any pesticide residues that remain. Second, cottonseed oil naturally contains a compound called gossypol. Gossypol is toxic in high amounts and has been linked to reduced male fertility and other health concerns. While commercial processing reduces gossypol levels significantly, trace amounts remain. For occasional exposure, this might not matter much. But if you're consuming cottonseed oil regularly through processed foods or using it for cooking, that exposure adds up over time. Third, like corn and soybean oil, cottonseed oil is very high in omega-6 fatty acids and low in omega-3s. This contributes to the same inflammatory imbalance we've already discussed. And when heated, cottonseed oil oxidizes and forms the same harmful compounds that damage your cardiovascular system. The challenge with cottonseed oil is that it's often hidden. You won't always see it listed prominently. Sometimes it's buried in the ingredients as part of a vegetable oil blend. Sometimes it appears in restaurant fried foods because it's cheap and has a high smoke point. The best defense is to reduce your consumption of heavily processed foods and ask restaurants what oils they use for frying. If they use cottonseed, soybean, or blended vegetable oils, consider ordering items that aren't fried. Worst oil number 4, partially hydrogenated oils and trans fats. By now, most people have heard that trans fats are bad. Public health campaigns have raised awareness, and many countries have banned or restricted artificial trans fats in food. But trans fats haven't disappeared completely. Some processed foods still contain small amounts, and some seniors still have old bottles of partially hydrogenated oils in their pantries from years ago. Trans fats are created when liquid vegetable oils are processed with hydrogen to make them solid at room temperature. This process, called partial hydrogenation, was popular for decades because it gave foods a longer shelf life and a desirable texture. Think of old-fashioned margarine, shortening, or certain baking products. The problem is that trans fats are uniquely harmful to your cardiovascular system. They raise your LDL bad cholesterol while simultaneously lowering your HDL good cholesterol. This double hit dramatically increases heart disease risk. Research has consistently shown that even small amounts of trans fats significantly increase the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and death from cardiovascular disease. For seniors whose cardiovascular systems are already more vulnerable, trans fats are particularly dangerous. A major study found that replacing just 2% of calories from trans fats with healthier fats reduced heart disease risk by more than 20%. Here's what you need to do. Check your pantry for any products labeled partially hydrogenated oil, vegetable shortening, or margarine made with partially hydrogenated oils. Even if the label says 0 trans fats, if you see partially hydrogenated oil in the ingredients, it contains some trans fats. Regulations allow products with less than half a gram per serving to be labeled as 0. Throw these products away. Don't use them for anything. Also, read labels carefully on packaged baked goods, frozen foods, and snack items. Many have been reformulated to remove trans fats, but some haven't. Protecting your heart means eliminating trans fats completely. Now let's shift to the encouraging part. Not all oils are harmful. In fact, 4 specific oils have been shown in research to support heart health, reduce inflammation, and even protect your brain. These oils work with your aging body instead of against it. Best oil number 1, extra virgin olive oil. If there's one oil that deserves the title of heart-healthy superfood, it's extra virgin olive oil. Decades of research, including extensive studies on Mediterranean populations, consistently show that regular consumption of olive oil is associated with lower rates of heart disease, stroke, cognitive decline, and overall mortality. What makes olive oil so special? First, it's predominantly composed of monounsaturated fats, specifically oleic acid. This type of fat is stable when heated, doesn't oxidize easily, and has been shown to reduce inflammation and improve cholesterol profiles. Studies show that replacing saturated fats or polyunsaturated vegetable oils with olive oil can lower LDL cholesterol while maintaining or even raising HDL cholesterol. But olive oil offers much more than just healthy fats. Extra virgin olive oil, which is the least processed form, contains powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds called polyphenols. These include oleocanthal, which works similarly to ibuprofen in reducing inflammation, and hydroxytyrosol, which protects your cells from oxidative damage. Research published in the journal Nutrients found that seniors who consumed at least 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily had lower levels of inflammatory markers, better cognitive function, and healthier blood vessels compared to those who used other oils. There's also fascinating research on olive oil and brain health. The pre-dimed study, one of the largest nutritional studies ever conducted, found that older adults who followed a Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil had significantly lower rates of cognitive decline and dementia compared to those on a low-fat diet. The polyphenols in olive oil appear to protect brain cells from damage and may even help clear harmful protein deposits associated with Alzheimer's disease. When choosing olive oil, quality matters. Look for bottles labeled extra virgin olive oil, preferably in dark glass to protect from light damage. Check for a harvest date on the bottle. Fresher is better. The oil should smell fruity and slightly grassy, and taste slightly peppery or bitter. That peppery sensation is actually the polyphenols. Store your olive oil in a cool, dark place, never near the stove where heat and light can degrade it. Use it liberally for salad dressings, drizzling over cooked vegetables, and low to medium heat cooking. While olive oil can be used for higher heat cooking, it's best saved for moderate temperatures to preserve those beneficial compounds. Best oil number 2, avocado oil. Avocado oil is quickly becoming a favorite among health-conscious cooks, and for good reason. Like olive oil, avocado oil is predominantly monounsaturated fat, making it heart-healthy and stable. But avocado oil has one major advantage over olive oil: a much higher smoke point. While extra virgin olive oil begins to break down around 375 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, refined avocado oil can handle temperatures up to 520 degrees. This makes it ideal for high-heat cooking methods like stir-frying, searing, and roasting. Avocado oil also contains beneficial compounds, including lutein, an antioxidant that supports eye health, and beta-sitosterol, a plant compound that may help lower cholesterol. Research suggests that avocado oil can improve the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins and antioxidants from other foods you eat. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that adding avocado oil to a salad significantly increased the absorption of carotenoids, important antioxidants found in vegetables. For seniors concerned about heart health, avocado oil offers another benefit. Studies show it can help reduce blood pressure. A small study found that participants who consumed avocado oil daily for several weeks experienced modest but meaningful reductions in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. When choosing avocado oil, look for cold-pressed or expeller-pressed versions, which retain more nutrients than heavily refined versions. Like olive oil, store it in a cool, dark place. Use avocado oil for high-heat cooking where olive oil might not be ideal, such as searing meat or stir-frying vegetables over high heat. Best oil number 3, coconut oil used in moderation. Coconut oil is controversial. Some people claim it's a superfood. Others warn it's dangerous because it's high in saturated fat. The truth, as usual, lies somewhere in the middle. Coconut oil does contain a high percentage of saturated fat, but it's a unique type of saturated fat composed mainly of medium-chain triglycerides or MCTs. These MCTs are processed differently by your body than the long-chain saturated fats found in animal products. MCTs are absorbed more quickly and sent directly to your liver, where they can be used for immediate energy rather than being stored as fat. Some research suggests that MCTs may have benefits for brain health. Studies have explored whether MCTs could provide an alternative energy source for brain cells in people with cognitive decline. While more research is needed, some seniors report feeling mentally sharper when they include moderate amounts of coconut oil in their diet. Coconut oil is also very stable when heated, making it suitable for cooking. It adds a subtle, pleasant flavor to foods. However, moderation is key. Despite its potential benefits, coconut oil is still high in saturated fat. Most health organizations recommend limiting saturated fat intake, especially for people with heart disease or high cholesterol. For seniors, A reasonable approach is to use coconut oil occasionally, perhaps 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, while making olive oil or avocado oil your primary cooking fats. Choose virgin or unrefined coconut oil, which retains more beneficial compounds than highly processed versions. Use it for baking, light sautéing, or adding to smoothies. But don't rely on it exclusively. Variety in your fat sources is important. If you have heart disease, high cholesterol, or other cardiovascular concerns, discuss coconut oil use with your doctor before adding it to your diet regularly. Best oil number 4. Grass-fed butter and ghee. After years of being demonized, butter is making a comeback, at least in moderation and especially when it comes from grass-fed cows. Grass-fed butter contains higher levels of beneficial nutrients compared to conventional butter, including omega-3 fatty acids, conjugated linoleic acid or CLA, and fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K2. These nutrients support heart health, bone health, and immune function. CLA, in particular, has been studied for its potential anti-inflammatory and metabolic benefits. Ghee, which is clarified butter with the milk solids removed, offers additional advantages. Because the milk proteins are eliminated, ghee is suitable for people with lactose intolerance or dairy sensitivities. It also has a higher smoke point than regular butter, around 450 degrees, making it more versatile for cooking. Ghee has been used for centuries in traditional medicine systems like Ayurveda for its purported health benefits. Modern research is beginning to validate some of these claims, showing that ghee contains butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that supports gut health and has anti-inflammatory properties. For seniors, using moderate amounts of grass-fed butter or ghee can be part of a healthy diet. The key word is moderate. Butter is still high in saturated fat, so it shouldn't be your only cooking fat. But using a small amount, perhaps a teaspoon or tablespoon per day, for adding flavor to vegetables, spreading on whole grain toast, or cooking eggs can provide beneficial nutrients without overdoing saturated fat. Look for butter from grass-fed cows, which will usually be labeled as such and may have a deeper yellow color due to higher beta-carotene content. Store butter and ghee in the refrigerator or a cool, dark place to prevent rancidity. Now let's talk about practical application. Knowing which oils are best is only useful if you know how to use them properly. Different oils work better for different cooking methods based on their smoke points and flavor profiles. For high-heat cooking like stir-frying, searing, or roasting above 400 degrees, use avocado oil or refined coconut oil. For medium-heat cooking like sautéing or gentle pan-frying, use extra virgin olive oil, ghee, or grass-fed butter. For low-heat cooking, dressings, and drizzling, use extra virgin olive oil or flaxseed oil if you have it. Storage matters too. All oils can go rancid when exposed to heat, light, and air. Rancid oil not only tastes bad, but also contains harmful compounds. Store all oils in dark bottles or in a dark cupboard away from the stove. Keep bottles tightly sealed. Buy smaller bottles that you'll use within a few months, rather than large containers that sit for a year. If an oil smells off or tastes bitter or metallic, throw it away. Don't risk using rancid oil. One more important tip: think beyond just cooking oil. The oils you consume in processed foods, restaurant meals, and packaged snacks often matter more than what you use at home because you consume more of them. When eating out, ask what oil the restaurant uses. If they use soybean, corn, or cottonseed oil for frying, consider ordering grilled or baked items instead. Read labels on packaged foods carefully. Even products that seem healthy, like whole grain crackers or veggie chips, might be made with unhealthy oils. Choose products made with olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil when possible. Remember, changing your cooking oil is just one part of a heart-healthy lifestyle. It works best when combined with other healthy habits: eating plenty of vegetables and fruits, choosing whole grains over refined grains, including fatty fish rich in omega-3s, staying physically active, managing stress, getting adequate sleep, and maintaining social connections. Your doctor can help you create a comprehensive plan tailored to your specific health needs and conditions. Now I want to hear from you. First question, which of these four oils have you been using without realizing the potential risks? Was it corn oil, vegetable oil, cottonseed oil, or partially hydrogenated oils? Second question, are you ready to make the switch to healthier oils like olive oil or avocado oil? Share your experiences and questions in the comments. Your story might help another senior make healthier choices. If this video helped you understand which cooking oils to avoid and which to embrace, please hit the like button. Likes help this content reach more people who need this information. Share this video with friends or family members who might benefit from knowing which oils support heart health after 60. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos with evidence-based health guidance for seniors. Your heart health is in your hands. Small changes like swapping out one bottle of oil for another can have profound effects over time. Choose oils that work with your aging body, not against it. Protect your arteries, reduce inflammation, and support your brain with every meal you cook. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.